Now it's time for one of the most important parts. Installing your motherboard into the case. Now my case is a full tower case, so my motherboard is going to look extremely small in it as opposed to my old case, which is now on the table for me. Sorry for the mess. I'm just a bunch of products being switched over and installed. So what you will need, which should have came with your case, are some standoff screws. You will need to install these where the holes in the motherboard are. I will demonstrate this in a moment. So here on my motherboard you can see that there are these holes on the motherboard that are in the corners and sometimes in the middle. Those are where you need to screw your motherboard in. Now, you need these standoff screws first. You install these into holes in the case that match the ones on your motherboard, and then you screw it in after the motherboard is on all those standoff screws. So right now, what I will be doing is installing the standoff screws into the case. There's actually one little thing I forgot. I need to install my I/O plate before I go any further. Now the I/O plates will need to be installed over here by where the I/O hole is, right underneath a fan the fan in my case. So we will need to install these. All you have to do is basically, your motherboard should come with this. If it doesn't, well, it should. So you need to install this. Sorry, there's a little cable from the fan in my way, so I had to move that. And just pop right in if it's installed correctly. Alright, so I just installed my I/O plate. So now I'll be getting my handy dandy little screwdriver. And luckily my case has labelings for ATX. Since mine is an ATX motherboard, I will be installing standoff screws where all the A's are. To preserve battery in my camcorder, I did not record the whole process. But now all the standoff screws are properly installed. Now I will be placing my motherboard inside on the standoff screws. So you want to align the motherboard with your I/O port. Now that my motherboard is properly in place, I will now be screwing it in. Your case will provide the motherboard screws, and I will start to install it. Now that the motherboard is fully screwed in and installed, the next step is to install the graphics card. I mean, really the next steps don't need to take any particular order. So I'm going to install the graphics card in the PCI Express slot, and then we'll be installing the power supply in there. So first, because of my case, I need to take out these screws. These are thumb screws, but I'm using a screwdriver since, sorry, that was out of frame. But I'm using a screwdriver since out of the factory, thumb screws are very, very tight, and you very rarely can get at them with your fingers. Just trying to loosen them up because I need to make way for 2 slots for my graphics card. This is one of the pieces that comes out. I'll have to save that if I ever want to put it back in for some reason. I need to take out one more. Over there by the other one. Since this is PCI Express 3.0, I need to pull this tab down right there. Oh, it looks like I may have taken out the wrong ports. So I need to put one of these back in. I'm going to take out this one. So that one's out. So now I can install my graphics card. All you have to do is basically push it down, and now voila, my graphics card is installed. Now I just need to screw it back in and I will be done. It's installed now. There is actually one last thing I forgot before we install our power supply. Down here we have a bunch of cables that need to be installed from my case to my motherboard. So I'm going to do that really quick. Plug in the rest of the cables later since my case has a lot of them and I actually still need to figure some of them out. Now it's time to install the power supply. So right here I have my Corsair CX750M power supply, and all I'm basically gonna do is simply, just make sure this is in frame, simply make sure I put it right there. And all I need to do is screw it in from the outside and my power supply is installed. Then you're gonna want to plug in your power ports to your motherboard. Alright guys, I also forgot about the 8-pin connector, which I will also be wiring through. Now that the cables are connected to the motherboard, I will screw the power supply in and I'll be right back. Now it's time to install the last two main pieces of hardware in this computer, our LG Blu-ray disc drive and our Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive. Let's start off with the disc drive. All we have to do is unlock this. It varies per case, you might need to screw it in. All I do is insert it right here. Snap it. Lock it. That didn't work the first time. Is this even... Oh, maybe aligning the screws would help just a little bit. Lock it. And drive should be going nowhere. Now it's sticking out a little bit over here. You can't see it anyway, but that's because I took off the front panel of the case because I had to get it some wires. So that should be all good when I put the panel back on. Now as for installing our Seagate hard drive, we'll be taking out one of these trays. And as you can see inside these trays we have some screws, so we'll need to bend these so it works with the hard drive correctly. So we need to insert it like this into the screws of the hard drive, and then we also need to bend it so that the other side works as well. Now this proved to be very difficult, well, for me at least, while I was testing this out. There we go. My hard drive is going nowhere now. It's now installed. All I have to do is stick it in. And then on the other side are my SATA power and cable ports, and I will be connecting those to my motherboard afterwards. So now I'm just going to put back my, I'm just going to install my front panel again. Now since this front panel has a door for the CD drives and I install one of the CD drives, I will be taking one of these out so that the CD drive obviously fits, because it kind of has to. So I will be re-putting on this front panel. And voila! My CD drive is installed. I just need to plug in the SATA cable and power connectors, and my hard drive is installed. So basically everything in this computer is ready to go. All I need to do is plug in the last few power cables to the hard drive, the CD drive, and the graphics card, put the case covers back on, and then we can test it for the first time. Alright, now it's time to boot up this computer for the first time. Now as you can see on the top of the case there is a power button, which I will simply press Blue LEDs are all over the place. And now we have the screen right here. MSI military class motherboard. Now Windows 8 is booting up. And there we go. It is all booted up. Now I just want to give you a short tour around this case. This is an ATX full tower case. So I have my old build that I built a few weeks ago actually. It's a mid-tower ATX case. And this is a full tower. Now obviously this has the one on the right, which is the one I'm using, is an NZXT Phantom. This is a Gigabyte IF Series 333 I believe. And this case obviously has a really nice design. This is where all our CD drives are held. Taking at the top of the case you can see that it's blue LEDs, and I have a fan controller here which I can make this fan that's on the top faster. As you can see, that fan speed, and you can probably hear it too. And then I can lower it back down again. Side of the case we just have a little bit of ventilation there. And on the back of the case we have our motherboard I/O ports here, and on the bottom we have the power supply. In the middle we have my graphics card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my build of my gaming PC that I hope will last me for a few years at least. This case is just amazing. It was completely worth all the money I paid for it, even though it was literally double the price of this one. It's gorgeous. And this one I'm planning to give to my parents. All I need to do is buy a hard drive for it. That's why it's not running. He doesn't have a hard drive, so there's really no point in starting this one up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it up, subscribe, comment, and rate. This is Eray from Eray Tech. See you guys later. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my PC build. This is the end of part 2. Later in my channel, I will probably be giving a tour of my setup. It's not the most impressive setup ever, but I'll be touring my PC, I'll be touring my monitor, my keyboard, my mouse, and my headset. So I hope you guys enjoyed my build, and I hope you guys subscribe for more videos like this. I'm sorry I haven't posted videos lately. It's been crazy with school and high school placements and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Eray from Eray Tech. I'll see you guys later.